The New York Knicks are completely manipulating the NBA draft to dodge the second apron, hoarding second-round picks and preparing to dump Mitchell Robinson. Meanwhile, the Lakers are plotting to steal Jose Alvarado in free agency, and a massive multi-team trade just sent Koa Peat to the Suns. Let's break down the absolute chaos of the NBA offseason.
Are second-round picks the new gold standard in the NBA? Because right now, the New York Knicks and Memphis Grizzlies are treating them like winning lottery tickets, and they are openly auctioning off the top of the second round to the absolute highest bidder. Let's rewind just a bit to understand the strategy. Before this draft, everyone was fixated on the glitz and glamour of the first round, dreaming of the next franchise savior. But right now, we are seeing a massive shift in front office philosophy. Under the incredibly punitive new collective bargaining agreement, cheap labor is at an absolute premium. Teams are realizing that locking yourself into guaranteed first-round money for unproven rookies can actively hamstring your cap space and push you closer to that dreaded second apron. The Knicks proved this on night one by moving out of the 24th spot entirely. They traded down with the Lakers, then the Mavericks, and finally the Suns, essentially stockpiling a massive haul of draft capital while completely avoiding the guaranteed multi-year salary that comes with a first-round selection. Here's where the tactical tension comes in for the rest of the league. Other franchises are desperate to get into the top of the second round today. They want to grab falling first-round caliber talent without dealing with the automatic cap hit. The Knicks and Grizzlies hold the keys to the castle with picks 31 and 32. It is turning into an absolute bidding war on the trade market. Can Leon Rose leverage the sheer desperation of rival general managers to secure even more future flexibility? The primary obstacle is finding a trade partner willing to give up future assets that the Knicks actually value, rather than just forcing them to take on bad salary cast-offs to make the math work.
Let's look at the hard facts. According to Shams Charania of ESPN, both the Knicks and Grizzlies are actively fielding trade inquiries for the 31st and 32nd overall picks, essentially putting them up for auction. New York walked away from round one with cash considerations and 5 total second-round picks, pushing their war chest to include the 31st, 47th, and 55th picks this year. They moved back a staggering 3 times. Memphis executed a similar tactical masterclass, dropping from 16 to 17 to 21 and scooping up 5 future second-rounders in the process. My honest take? This is brilliant, cold-blooded cap management by Leon Rose in the New York front office. In an NBA ecosystem utterly terrified of the luxury tax aprons, securing highly cost-controlled talent or kicking the can down the road with future assets is exactly how you keep a championship window wide open. The Knicks just won it all, and they are playing chess while the rest of the association is stuck playing checkers. It might not be flashy or make for viral highlights, but hoarding these picks gives them the exact ammunition needed for future blockbuster trades or to round out their rotation on the cheap.
Did you really think the Knicks were going to stop dealing just because they won a championship? Think again, because Leon Rose is about to pull off another masterstroke before the second round even tips off. Just weeks after parading through the Canyon of Heroes with their first title in 53 years, the Knicks front office has refused to take a victory lap. Before this week, the narrative was that the New York might use their draft picks to inject cheap youth into the rotation. But now, the strategy has radically pivoted. The front office is heavily prioritizing financial flexibility over unproven rookies. By completely avoiding first-round money on night one, they've set the stage to keep the core together. It's all about maintaining distance from the restrictive luxury tax aprons that are destroying contenders across the NBA landscape. The drama here lies in the ticking clock and the immense pressure to execute the right deal. The Knicks hold the 31st overall pick, the first selection of the second round. Do they draft a falling prospect to fill out the backcourt, or do they completely punt on the pick to save cash? The tension is palpable because every move they make is scrutinized under the lens of defending a title. If they trade out, they have to ensure they are getting legitimate future assets, not just salary dumps. Rival executives are trying to squeeze the Knicks, knowing New York's desperation to trim the payroll, but Leon Rose is notoriously stubborn at the negotiating table.
The reporting on this is airtight. According to Shams Charania, the Knicks have already received offers of future draft assets for the 31st pick and fully intend to move it before the second round begins. Remember, they already acquired the 47th pick from Phoenix, along with a 2029 and a 2033 second-rounder. Factor in 2 future second-rounders from Dallas, and the Knicks have incredibly stockpiled 7 future second-round picks. Furthermore, trading the 31st pick saves the franchise an estimated $1.5 to $2.5 million against the cap, compounding the $3.3 million they already saved by jumping out of the first round entirely. Here is my read on the situation. The Knicks are conducting an absolute masterclass in CBA survival. They understand that those 2029 and 2033 picks aren't just throwaways. They're crucial trade exceptions and sweeteners for the next big move. Leon Rose isn't just managing a championship roster, he is actively insulating it. Saving a few $1,000,000 here and there doesn't sound sexy, but when you're trying to keep a title team intact without triggering hard caps, every single dollar matters. They're hunting for rotation players with picks 47 and 55, while turning 31 into tomorrow's leverage.
How far are the Knicks willing to go to stay out of the NBA's dreaded second apron? The answer might mean saying goodbye to their longest-tenured big man and watching a fan-favorite point guard bolt for Los Angeles. The financial reality of the NBA has completely shifted overnight. Before this offseason, contending teams were perfectly fine spending deep into the luxury tax to keep their rosters intact. Now, the second apron is acting as a hard cap that terrifies front offices. The Knicks sit about $15 million below that second apron under a strict edict from owner James Dolan to not cross that line. This financial squeeze completely changes the calculus for role players. Before, re-signing a guy like Mitchell Robinson seemed like a no-brainer. Now, finding $15 million for a backup big man feels practically impossible without gutting the rest of the rotation. The immediate conflict revolves around the backup point guard spot and the massive void looming in the front court. Jose Alvarado has a $4.5 million player option that he must decide on by Friday. The Lakers, Spurs, and Rockets are all circling like sharks ready to poach him in free agency if he opts out. Can the Knicks convince him to stay on a discount, or will the allure of a bigger role in Hollywood with the Lakers pry him away? Meanwhile, if the Knicks lose Robinson, their paint defense takes a massive hit. The tension is clear. Do you sacrifice your defensive identity to appease the accounting department, or do you risk the wrath of the second apron penalties? Let's break down the actual numbers. The Knicks are desperately trying to avoid that apron, saving less than $3.5 million by dumping their first-round picks entirely. Heavy Sports is reporting that there is no feasible way New York can re-sign Mitchell Robinson for less than his $15 million market value while staying under the threshold. On the flip side, keeping Alvarado or Landry Shamet remains a slight possibility, but Alvarado's looming Friday deadline is the real pressure point. Executive sources confirm the Lakers have long targeted Alvarado and will be aggressive suitors if he hits the open market. Let me give you the honest truth. The Knicks are playing a dangerous game of financial chicken. Moving off Mitchell Robinson's salary makes sense on a spreadsheet, but you can't replace his rim protection and offensive rebounding with a late second-round pick. If they let Alvarado walk to the Lakers for nothing, their backcourt depth chart gets incredibly thin behind Jalen Brunson. Yes, staying under the second apron is critical for long-term flexibility, but you cannot bleed rotation pieces without taking a step back on the floor. Leon Rose needs a contingency plan, because right now the Lakers are plotting to steal one of their most valuable two-way players. Did the Phoenix Suns just draft the ultimate front-court steal of 2026, or did the Mavericks completely fleece them by sliding back and grabbing an overseas mystery man? Let's talk trade grades. Coming into this draft, the narrative around Koa Peat was incredibly polarizing. A few months ago, he was considered a surefire lottery talent, a dynamic forward dominating at Arizona. But leading up to draft night, whispers started circulating that he might pull his name out of the pool entirely due to slipping stock. Fast forward to now, and the landscape has changed. The Mavericks, fresh off hiring Dusty May, were looking for specific fits, while the Suns were absolutely desperate for cheap, NBA-ready front-court depth. The result was a complex, multi-team shuffle that completely altered the back half of the first round. The tension here is a classic clash of draft philosophies, drafting for immediate need versus drafting for long-term upside. The Suns pulled the trigger to get Koa Peat at number 30, betting that his collegiate production will immediately translate to an NBA rotation that severely lacks physicality in the paint. But the risk is immense. If Peat's game doesn't transition well, Phoenix just wasted a crucial asset. Meanwhile, the Mavericks rolled the dice on Sergio De La Rey at number 25, a guard who has been developing overseas. The obstacle for Dallas is timeline. They need players who can contribute alongside Luka Doncic right now, not project players who are years away from stepping on an NBA floor. Here is how the deal actually went down. In a multi-team trade involving the New York Knicks, the Dallas Mavericks acquired the number 25 overall pick and selected guard Sergio De La Rey. The Phoenix Suns received the number 30 overall pick, which they used to select Arizona forward Koa Peat. For context on Peat, the kid can flat out play. He averaged 14.5 and 6.9 rebounds this past season for the Wildcats. As for the trade grades handed out by Clutch Points, the Mavericks walked away with a B- for adding guard depth, while the Suns earned a solid B for addressing their glaring need in the frontcourt. If I'm being completely honest, the Suns won this trade purely based on positional value and readiness. Getting a guy who averaged nearly 15 and 6 at a major program with the very last pick of the first round is fantastic business for a top-heavy roster. Phoenix needs guys who can bang in the post, set physical screens in the pick and roll, and provide actual resistance in the paint. Peat does all of that on a rookie-scale deal. The Mavericks taking an overseas stash at 25 feels like a reach for a team that should be prioritizing win-now wings to maximize their championship window. Phoenix got better today, Dallas kicked the can down the road.